I feel dedicated to a certain way of life, and I would like to share my perspective with you. I feel as if we have an opportunity to experience life in a better way, and more recently it's becoming more clear that it's actually a responsibility that we have. I believe we have a responsibility to be more clear within ourselves than we ever thought. I believe that we are something like antennae, and we are grounded to the earth, and we receive from above. And it's important for us to be clear so that we can allow and honor that sacred union of the two. Like a tree, rooted and grounded and reaching up high and out to collect, to receive and synthesize the energy from the sun, from the cosmos, Father Sky, Mother Earth, and we thrive on the connection of the two. To allow the clearest path for the masculine and feminine to meet and create harmony. To create harmony and nourishment for ourselves and for the entire system. I believe we're something like an antenna and also like a satellite beaming outward from inward, the status of our internal environment. And since thought, feeling, and emotion actually affect our physical bodies and the physical world around us, we have a responsibility to be clear. To hold yourself accountable for what you are contributing to the system. When you have integrity, you clear up. When you have denial, you are not sending out a healthy signal. Just because you think it's buried deep inside doesn't mean it's not energetically flashing and showing up in other ways. Denial, stress, greed, fear, it's all doing harm to your inner and outer physical worlds. When you choose to eat something that you know is a byproduct of serious suffering, you are swallowing denial. It's time to exercise integrity now that we are adults. It's the responsible thing to do. We know very well now that it's not necessary to take an animal's life away or to enslave it for us to survive. What do the animals eat to survive? Plants. We can thrive on plants and it feels better on the conscious. You start to become clear, feel lighter, without all of that stuck inside of you. When you start to clear up, you become more receptive. Your body can receive more energy. When you begin to clear out in other ways, your body begins to regulate. All of a sudden, instead of working overtime to correct what you do, trying to get rid of all the negatively, irresponsibly sourced material that you're filling up with, and not just food, everything you take in needs to be processed. We are constantly processing things. Information, food, imagery, other people's products of their inner space that they are unknowingly putting out. When you work on refining what you are taking in, when you become more responsible with your choices, your body can begin to do what it is meant to do. Our cells, our hearts, our minds, when we begin to align everything to the same curriculum, we become clearer conduits for that beautiful, energetic synergy of the sacred forces from the cosmos and from the earth. When we can spend some dedicated time shedding and processing the years of buildup within us, the stress that is stored up in us, the trauma, repressed memories, toxic materials, you are making the choice to be alive and to support life. You begin to feel your heart opening as you grieve and overcome the backed up pain from years of not acknowledging the opportunity to process. Everything needs to be seen to move forward. Even quantum physics proves this. It takes an observer to have movement, to animate. This goes for everything. When you repress, you are choosing not to look at something. Everything is energy. Everything. Even 'Everything that you take in needs to be processed. It doesn't disappear when you stuff it down. Energy cannot be destroyed or created. It can be transformed, it can be released. We can process it all, and we have to. What we process through is released, and it goes back into the system. And this brings us back to the responsibility that we have as members of the whole. We must get to a place where we are releasing more love and forgiveness and cleanliness and integrity back into the field. When you are full and blocked and not operating properly, you are creating more suffering. And that again will need to be processed. And it creates unhealthy, irregular patterns all around us. Do you see why the world is the way it is now? But it is beginning to lighten up. The more people are realizing and becoming aware of what it means to be alive, to be a part of this world, to be responsible, the more harmony and natural patterning we will be experiencing. Then there is another level beyond this. When you begin to align your body, heart, and mind to your spirit, to what you know deep within to be the right way, it's like a door opens and more light begins to flood in. And not only light, but it's like the light carries knowledge. When you become clear and responsible and aligned, you create the perfect natural environment for what perhaps we are all meant to experience here. Many people go their entire lives without having this experience, this connection. It's like you're a circuit, and when you're clear, you become connected and light up, and you become a more responsible and integral part of the system, creating a channel for the circuitry to flow, for the current of the energies that nourish, that carries the wisdom, that heals. When you create an inner and outer environment that is still, that is peaceful and harmonious, there is no disruption, there is no noise. It's pure. From this state, you can be receptive, and you can hear your intuition and guidance from your source, from the source. This is why we can all have such similar realizations. It's coming from one source, and it's yours. It's deep inside of you, of us. And obviously this is beyond physical. It's not physically in a spot somewhere inside of you. It's like an awareness that you are connected to something more than just your physical body. And when you become clear and still, and you quiet your ego, and are no longer driven or saturated by its desires, you can hear. You become humble and aware of a greater perspective, and you can listen and receive. You can receive guidance. You can receive deep wisdom of how it is to be involved in this whole entire structure. And you are clear, so you begin processing more of this purity from the source, and you begin to act naturally and in balance. You receive. That's your feminine aspect. And then you are guided how to responsibly act, your masculine aspect. And you go through each new day practicing that balance, receiving, processing, responding in harmony. And then watch what the ripple effect of that creates. There is a lot more that I believe unlocks. The more in line you are with this natural state. We are nature, and the forces of nature, not just of the earth, but the cosmic forces as well. They are powerful and sacred. And once you align yourself with the sacred movements of this entire thing, more and more will be revealed. This is the transformation process that we must go through. With the way everything is currently and has been unconsciously set up here on this planet, This is what we have to do. To return to our intended state, the possibility is there, and it is welcoming us. Can you hear it? There is an entirely different experience of life available for us all. A sacred connection, a sacred communion, respect and harmony. If we want to experience this, we must become bridges. We have a responsibility to lead the way, to connect, to pulse with purity, to feel, to heal, and to bring heaven down to earth.